The effects that your childhood experiences have on you, especially when it comes to your guardians, such as your parents, they're very, they really shape who you are. And I found that the very weak people, they will laugh and say, "Oh, well, my parents did this to me as a child," and they'll make fun because to them, they're so incapable of being able to handle even the smallest things that they think making fun of these things, even big things, somehow makes them look like they're less vulnerable. But don't let them fool you. Anyways, I have a lot of issues as an adult because of things that happened to me as a kid. It's not just because my dad beat my ass every day. My dad was very angry with who he chose to be in life and his childhood as well. So he took it out on me all the time. And a lot of people didn't even know I existed because I wasn't allowed outside and I was not allowed to go to school. But I was the one that the whole family got to beat: my mom, my dad, and my sister. And everything I did was wrong. If I laughed at a joke, at a cartoon, my dad would beat me. Like it was an extremely highly abusive situation. But I want to explain how these things can affect you forever and who you are. My parents had a friend who didn't really know me. I was probably, I don't know, 15 or so. And the movie Jurassic Park was out. And their friend bought me that book, Jurassic Park novel. And I was so excited. I thought it was so cool. And I was going to learn to read, man. I was going to go through that book and I was going to figure it out. And I was just motivated and so excited. And my sister saw how excited I was to get that gift for my birthday. And she got so angry and so jealous because she wanted that book. So when that guy left, she grabbed my book and flat out told my parents that I'm not mature enough to own such a book and that it should be hers. And they laughed. They're like, "Well, you heard her, Justin. It's her book now. Ha ha ha." And they laughed. And I tried to act like it was okay and that it wasn't devastating to me. I said, "Okay." Kind of laughed. They're like, "Oh, stop. You're fine. Oh, God. You exaggerate so much." And they blew up at me, even though I did not act in the way that they were acting as though I did. And what that did to me, to this day, I cannot read fiction. Cannot read it. I can't even listen to it audiobook style. I tried listening to 1984, and within 5 minutes, I actually get nauseated and annoyed, and anxiety. It's a really negative effect it has on me. And I did not learn to actually read until my mid 20s. It was very difficult. And for a very long time, until the last couple years, I could not read fluently. I start to read fluently in around 2017 and 2018 is when I was able to actually read fluently. And I thought it was the coolest thing. It was like a superpower. And I just started reading it all the time. And then something happened where my ex-wife saw I was liking reading, so she did something to traumatize me and keep me from being able to read and start poisoning my food and everything. And now I've been able to heal from her for the last 2 years once I escaped that very abusive relationship. And now I'm just able to really, go at it. See, my ex-wife was angry that when I learned to read, I was better than her, and she always prided herself in um, English, not just reading, but punctuation and understanding of what words mean. because fortunately, for some reason, it turns out I'm able to learn quickly. I was able to jump past her almost immediately, and she got very angry at that. But I thought I would never learn to read, especially that effectively. So that's the effect that that experience of them taking that book away, like it was so easy, my sister keeping my book and it being hers, and them laughing at me about it, and then like saying that my pain that I guess was really clear, that they just laughed at my pain and was just took such delight in causing me harm and seeing the effect it had on me mentally. And I still think about them at their age at that time and me, and how me at my age now, 43, how I just could never even imagine being so evil and harsh and nasty, vile to a child in that way. Once I started reaching the same age my parents were and started looking at how they treated me, that's when it really started to hit me and I started to understand it's like, oh my God, these are very, very terrible people. Like, very terrible people. It's very hard to meet other people as horrible as they are still today. I haven't spoken to them in years and I don't want to. Every therapist, psychologist has told me once they hear a little bit about it, they're like, oh my God, no, 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 never, ever speak to those people again. And they're right. But yeah, you gotta examine why you feel the way you do and not run away from it. Because once you realize why you feel the way you do and you face it and you say it out loud, it tends to help you heal and sometimes it just goes away. But yeah, a lot of these childhood experiences, man, they can really affect you, especially if you are an empathic child being raised and abused by narcissistic abusers.